In a distant green landscape of Greece on a sunny blue-skied day, a young man walked along a dirt road, known as Hercules. He donned a white robe and leather sandals, his meager possessions comprising a handful of coins in his purse. Uncertain of his destination, he pressed forward for many hours and miles. Eventually, Hercules arrived at a fateful crossroad, where he paused to observe an enigmatic sight. A woman dressed in black stood on the left, while another adorned in white stood on the right. His attention was now on the two equally captivating women. They approached him with grace and introduced themselves to the bewildered Hercules. The woman dressed in white identified herself as Arete, while the one in black named herself Kakia. Kakia, captivating in her beauty, beckoned Hercules to take her hand and declared herself as happiness, despite being denounced by her adversaries as vice. She enticed him, assuring that with her he would acquire every pleasure his heart desired. In a soft whisper, she vowed an existence devoid of pain and discontent, where music and wine eternally flowed, and his wants would never surpass her offerings. Fear and war would be foreign to him, and his happiness would be boundless if he chose to follow her. With a smile, she extended her hand, just as Hercules was mesmerized by Kaya's allure. His reverie was interrupted by Arete, who seized his attention with her quiet presence. She too extended her hand, offering Hercules an alternative. Arete spoke of a different proposition, devoid of fleeting pleasures. Instead, she promised him true understanding of reality. Lasting nobility and contentment, she explained, could only be attained through perseverance and labor. She revealed that if Hercules sought the benevolent gifts of heaven, he must remain steadfast in prayer. To be honored by the people, he must benefit them. If he yearned to reap the rewards of the earth, he must toil in its cultivation. And if he aspired to accomplish heroic feats, he must train his body to heed the commands of his mind. In response, Kakia screeched, challenging Hercules to recognize the difficulties and tedium that virtue's path entailed. She insisted that she could provide the same happiness without the need for sacrifice, offering herself as the embodiment of perfect bliss. Virtue interjected, questioning Kakia's intentions and accusing her of deceiving numerous young men to her liking. Virtue pointed out that Kakia molded these individuals into slothful beings, weakening their minds and will beyond repair. Those who followed Kakia, according to Virtue, lived without genuine consciousness or consideration. They aged, empty, dissatisfied, and ashamed of the memories of their hedonistic deeds. Having exhausted their indulgences, they ultimately succumbed to death, with their names and deeds fading into oblivion. Virtue emphasized that those wise youths who chose to follow her received a different counsel. She proclaimed herself as the companion of virtuous men, warriors who remembered their noble deeds with ease of conscience and contentment. They eternally resided in the hearts of their loved ones and friends. Exhaling deeply, Hercules felt a sense of clarity wash over him. He eased the furrow in his brow, realizing that his decision at the crossroad held profound significance. With a firm resolve, he extended his hand and grasped the outstretched hand of the woman adorned in the pure white dress. In that moment, Hercules made a choice that would shape his destiny. The allegory I have written, inspired by the myth of Hercules at the crossroads, serves as a poignant reminder of the timeless dilemma faced by young men. The pivotal choice between a life defined by virtue and greatness, or one mired in vice and mediocrity. Yet in the context of our modern era, particularly in the Western world, this decision has grown progressively more arduous due to three influential factors. Firstly, the normalization and legalization of a vice-oriented lifestyle have blurred the once clear boundaries between right and wrong. Behaviors that were historically regarded as immoral or detrimental to personal well-being are now increasingly embraced and, in some cases, even lauded by society. This cultural shift creates an environment where the allure of vice becomes ever more enticing, weaving its seductive web and making it increasingly challenging to resist its tempting embrace. Secondly, there exists a pervasive lack of education and understanding concerning the fundamental distinction between a virtuous life and one driven by vice. Regrettably, Western society fails to provide explicit guidance and comprehensive teachings on what it truly means to live a virtuous and fulfilling existence. Consequently, young men are left without the necessary moral compass to navigate the intricate complexities of contemporary life. The absence of proper moral education robs them of a solid foundation upon which to make informed choices, leaving them susceptible to the alluring call of vice and adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Lastly, the prevalence of hedonistic and numbing devices exacerbates the formidable challenges confronting men in their pursuit of virtue. A multitude of distractions eagerly vie for their attention, readily accessible at the mere touch of a screen or the click of a button. Vaping devices, marijuana, an endless array of entertainment options encompassing shows, movies, video games, social media platforms, explicit content. These enticing avenues offer instant gratification and a temporary respite from the demands of reality. Yet this instant gratification often proves shallow and transient, ultimately resulting in a dulled consciousness and a weakened resolve to undertake meaningful action. Instead of courageously confronting and addressing their circumstances, individuals may find themselves ensnared in a perpetual cycle of hedonism and escapism, their personal growth and progress stymied by the allure of immediate pleasure. Collectively, these formidable factors intertwine to construct a societal landscape wherein the decision between virtue and vice has become increasingly intricate and burdensome for men. Overcoming these formidable obstacles necessitates a resolute and concerted effort to redefine prevailing cultural norms. It requires the prioritization of comprehensive moral education, empowering young men with the tools to discern the true essence of a virtuous life, and enabling them to chart a course guided by purpose, integrity, and genuine fulfillment. This video serves as a profound warning to young men who are embarking on the journey of life. To not take the hand of the beautiful maiden dressed in black, who calls herself happiness, while her enemies call her vice, the hand of Kakia, is one of deception and illusion that fades in the end, leaving you alone, empty, and weak. She is not loyal, she is not caring, so if you are wise, you will resist the insidious temptations she offers. For God gave you reason and will, which set you apart from all the creations on this earth. If this ability is not used, instead ignored, you may adopt the persona of Gollum, an archetypal character who elicits pity yet mostly disdain. Gollum is a man-child driven exclusively by base wants, primal urges, and unbridled temptations. Choosing not to engage in introspection or cultivating thoughtful consideration and right action, for he picks hedonism and escapism, the result of such a lifestyle is seen in Gollum's appearance and end, all ultimately caused by his own choices that lead him to such a wretched state. In stark contrast, I implore young men to take the hand of the most bright and beautiful Arit, but one who speaks in harsh truths. She is true and loyal. Take her hand, hand of virtue, and let her guide you to become the archetypal Frodo or Hercules, a character who traverses a treacherous and arduous path marked by cold and unforgiving terrain. This path symbolizes the journey of goodness and duty, for it is through the pursuit of virtue and fulfilling one's responsibilities that one may earn the favor of God. By following this path, young men may hope to one day enter God's eternal palace and dwell with him forever. I can't emphasize enough that the transitory nature of earthly life renders it as fleeting as dust, underscoring the importance of embracing righteousness and fulfilling one's duty in order to attain a higher, more enduring purpose. If you may be wise, shun, hate, distaste the allure of vice and the self-destructive tendencies of a Gollum-like existence. Instead, if you plan to win in this life and the one after, strive for moral integrity, to walk the path of duty, and to seek a life defined by righteousness, thereby securing a future that transcends the transient nature of this mortal realm. By heeding this warning, you will win in this life and the next. For virtue is a compass which never fails to navigate the complexities of life with clarity, purpose, and an unwavering commitment to goodness. ultimately shaping destinies into ones who contribute to a more virtuous society. World history. Forever and ever, there's a season for all activities, and men's youth is the season of war. Choose Arete, for she will find you a life worth going to war for, worth death.